and I've really devoted myself to, counseling in the form of art. Art has always been something that I've turned to in good times and bad.
Right.
And here lately in my adulthood, a couple years back, I lost my father in Harvey. Was in a bad relationship. Separated from that, doing well in the corporate industry. Got the rug pulled out from underneath me. Was really down bottom bad, bro.
Right.
And had I not started that voyage back into my passion, my pillow, my counseling, art of all sorts, I wouldn't be here today, thriving, man. So I really want to piggyback and support you on trying to motivate and encourage others to go seek counseling, especially if you know. Right. If you're uncertain, go seek it anyway.
Right.
If you're being advised by peers, families, and things of that nature, take heed to what to the message that they're trying to convey, and do it for the loved ones too. Because if they're bold enough to mention it and bring it to the forefront, they're being affected by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to piggyback off of that, I know we have our listeners tuning in, and I know as a youngin', I think I was maybe 12 years old. My mama, she had one of those talks, come to mama talks, and I remember her telling me, son, never put your hands on a woman. Never put your hands on a woman. And I remember it being profound because I've never forgotten that, all of my life. And it's helped me throughout the years of just knowing that, like, that's just something that I don't do. That's against, that's against code, that's against law, that's against what my mama said, told me at 12 years old. So it's helped me. And I know a lot of people, are raised different, man. So just speaking to all of my young, older gentlemen out there, that's something I want you guys to take heed to. It never gets to that point to where you have to put your hands on a woman. If you have to restrain yourself, hold back, you do so ever. But I apply that to all further components, not just physically, but as the ones you guys were speaking on, spiritually, financially. I mean, it's all a form of abuse. I totally agree. It's something that's a tough situation, but
it's real tough, man. And I'm not one to miss the target intentionally. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit and also say this message isn't just to the male gender. This message is to the female gender too. Keep your hands to yourself, man.
Definitely.
Let's be mature in ourselves, be mature in our presence, and understand how to manage our emotions. Being a victim of domestic violence, if you want to classify that in the physical form, a couple times in my adulthood, receiving end that is. I can relate to the frustrations of being raised on true moral and value. And I say frustrations because it's tough for you not to react in the moment in which somebody chooses to physically assault you. And mama said, don't put your hands on no woman. And you got to just sit there and eat that, dog. It's hard, man. You know. And I salute those men and women that have the self-control, that understands the level of severity it would create in the event that you reacted.
Yes, indeed.
It's a tough situation, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, because honestly, you never know how you're going to react to a situation that you've never been in before.
Man, Sarah mentioned that earlier. We were doing a little, pre-show conversation, man, and she had mentioned that. That was one of the first things that it came out of her mouth. She's like, you never know how you're going to react unless you're in that moment.
Right, because it's all about manipulation. It's all about the narcissist of a person. It is so sneaky. It is just, seem like it's just calculated. And you can get sucked in. And some people cannot get out. Some people don't know how to get out. There's a hotline out there. There is, you got your family. I hid it, and I hid it for years. I made the excuses when they saw the bruises. I because of what I was told. If I told,
Man, that's crazy. You being threatened at the same time beaten.
Yeah.
and you know, what do you say when you are on your way to work, and because he's mad, he hauls off and hits you in your face, but he drops you off at your job, and you got your supervisor looking at you like, what's going on? And he leaves you. And it's like, where do I go? I ain't got no key to my house, my own house. So where do I go?
That ain't in your name. Man, doing a little background work in preparation for the show, man. I went to statistics, right? And we're talking about domestic violence en route to the workplace, and I came across a stat, and it said there's 30 to 60% of physical abuse victims from intimate partners lose their job.
Wow.
And now let's take that number, right?
Yeah.
94% of these victims are women.
Wow.
So you got a multitude, a mass of women that's getting battered and beaten, still forced to perform a profession at a higher risk of losing their job
Right.
than what the man is too.
Yeah.
And if you can't hold that job, and it's not your fault you can't hold the job.
It creates a higher dependency.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they're telling you you're not worth anything because you can't hold the job, but I can't hold the job because of how you put me in a situation when I get there.
So let's fast forward one more step.
Yeah.
How do you get out?
Yeah.
Right? You had mentioned cashing that $4,500. Boss lady being cool enough to say, "Hey, this the game."
Ultimately, fasting and prayer. I'm telling you, that is my life. When you don't know what to do. And people would ask me all the time, well, how do you fast? I don't know about praying. Praying is just like the conversation that we're having right now. Fasting is something that is really that you depend on or crave or want, that you just got to stop. For me, I don't eat all day. I just drink water. I have my one meal. And I keep my gospel music on. I keep my mind frame. When anybody is trying to come at me, I'm like, because that's when the enemy gonna kick in. And you know how you have some days when you forget about eating, but it never crossed your mind. But when you focus and you say, I'm gonna fast, it's tough. And that's when your faith comes in. That's when you know that you are trying to accomplish a goal and you want your breakthrough. You want things to happen. But you can't play with God. And whatever you ask for, you better be ready to receive it. It may be good, it may be bad, but it's always work together for the good. And he gonna get you through it. You just gotta keep him first.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Fasting and praying.
hey, that's a real deal.
That's a real deal. And you're defeating that need, that want. So it's like, that's hard.
That's tough.
That's hard. Because people need and want all day.
Bro, look, man, the obesity rate here in the United States alone is crazy.
Yeah.
And that is solely due to accessibility and craving.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not in the best form of shape because of my cravings.
Yeah.
I need to start fasting and praying a little bit more, man.
You know, fasting and praying could be anything. Anything. It could be the internet. It can be whatever vice that you got going on in your life. It can be anything. And I'm anything. I mean, it's just always like I would tell my kids, I was like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want your breakthrough? How bad do you want to get out the situation? How bad is it in your life? You know, because the mentality, the mental that you go through, the mental health, y'all, that is so real.
Oh no, boy, that's tough.
That and going through the traumas of domestic violence messes with your mind. I couldn't even watch TV of any scene that I saw. If when I was hiding out at my sister's house and he would call, I would run in the closet. even I know he's not in the house. I know he's not anywhere. But just the mere fact of him trying to find me, I go hide in the closet. And I'm telling you, it took, Roger, I have never voiced my whole story. I have a chapter in a book, Brilliant Awakenings 2.0, and it's called Prison of Peace. And I've never voiced my whole story live. And I thank you, because that is a part of healing. It's a part of healing. And going back to Prison of Peace, prison is not always a physical. It's your mind. You can be in prison in your mind, but you can always get out. Don't be stuck. You can always get out. And there's so much help and out there. You just gotta open your mouth and talk about it. You open your mouth and speak it. Be willing to speak about it. And that's from everything that's you're going on in life.
Everything. You gotta be
Everything.
willing.
You got to.
I couldn't imagine being in a situation like that, first of all.
Right.
And it being a act and a cry of desperation, you felt the need to, really shake some stuff up. Like, bring us back to that moment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, when I realized that they were going to cash a check, I was like, I had to strategically think things through. I knew he was going out of town. I had to make my day like it was a normal day. Me going to work, me getting picked up, the whole 9 yards. And it was like slow motion. Like, he left. I was like, left to go. She came pick me up, and I had to come back. And it was like slow motion in the house. Me picking out things for my 10-month-old, my 5-year-old. Me. I only had one bag. That was it.
One bag, too.
And I didn't know if he was like, ooh, let me just turn back around. Was he really getting on his plane? What was he doing? I had to make the best of it. And I left everything and went to my supervisor's house. Like I said, I was there for a while. He was looking for me. And when I had to go to the police station, I had to get the reports. I had to get everything in order. And when I finally got on the plane with my one bag, my 5-year-old daughter, my 2-month-old son, I remember walking down the aisle and bawling, crying. And there was this gentleman that saw me, this white man saw me. And my daughter said, my mommy's running from my dad. She's 5. She witnessed a lot. And he looked at me and he was like, ma'am, you're going to be okay. Keep your head up. You're going to be okay. And at that moment, I was just like, all right. So we're flying, right? And my daughter looks out the window. She was like, Mommy, that's Mary. And I was like, who's Mary? I was like, she kept saying that. She's 5. I was like, well, what are you saying? She said, Mommy, that's Jesus' mom.
Oh, man.
I was just like, Lord, I know at this point you did not get me this far. I know you got me covered. I don't know what the rest of my life looked like, but you got me covered. I landed in Houston. I stayed with my godmother for 2 weeks. She knew my story, but then she was like, you got to go.
Oh, wow. So you know that
And I'm like, you my godmother. What am I supposed to do? And so I had to resort to going to my sister's, but luckily my protective order, I was able to get my protective order in effect in Houston to where he couldn't come around my sister. But it was just like I said, whenever he would call, because he's looking, I would hide in the closet. PTSD is so real. Your mind is like, controls everything.
The brain's a powerful tool,
Yeah.
you know, for good and for bad, man. You know, so having been conditioned to tolerate acts of such, once they make that level of impact on your psyche,
Right.
on your physical too. You can't help but to, have a setback in moments of similarity. You know what I mean? And imagine that level of trauma on your kids too. You know what I'm saying? You said your daughter was 5. She told a man that mommy running from
Right.
daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, mommy, that's Mary. I came across another stat, and it said like 1 in 15 kids witnessed this.
Man.
Some form of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Each year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man.
1 in 15.
Yeah.
And it can either go two ways. When you are brought up in a situation as a child, or like I wasn't brought up like that, but my daughter witnessed it. It's two ways can either happen. You're either not going to go down that road because you witnessed what your parents have gone through and you want to make a difference, you want to make a change. 2, you're going to be the abuser or you're going to be the victim.
Yeah, so that generational witness experience can cascade over the course of 2 or 3 generations
Right.
too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes the environment in which we stay and lay in so vital for the greater good of our youth
Right.
and healthy adults too, right?
Yes, indeed.
Because you imagine being a non-healthy adult that has been battered and abused, and that has not had the outlets to really address these concerns.
Right.
And it's your responsibility to raise kids.
Yeah.
So unconsciously, you're going to condition them to be accustomed to the same things that you're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So now that's going to times 2 itself, because they're going to do the same thing to their kids because they don't know no better.
Right.
You know?
What would be some great ways of bringing awareness to these issues? As we were talking, I was thinking, what are some good ways, and I was thinking of speak up. Having someone or having sources to where you can contact, or if you don't know of any sources, or having an individual that you can speak up.
There are shelters that one that I was thinking about going to was the Star of Hope here in Houston. I was gonna go there, and I was gonna go with my kids, but that my godmother stepped in. But there are places to go. There's different shelters. There's some shelters that kids can't go. There's shelters where if the men can't go with the women, it's different stipulations. There is help out there, and I wish there was a way of getting it more out there like this. This is a good way. This is a start. Talking about it, getting it out there, having dialogue, giving people hope, because you've lost it. You lost it. You're so afraid. You don't know what to do. But things like this that people can stumble upon, or people know people that are going through this. Hey, how about you listen to this? If she can do it, you can do it too. Don't give up hope. I mean, there's so many people that may resort to suicidal thoughts. This is my only way out. It's not. It's not. It may feel like that, but it's not. There's help out there, and we as individuals need to see the signs, and it's kind of hard because we mask them.
That's what makes the hardest thing.
Yeah.
We grow tolerant to a lot of things, and we suppress the right acknowledgement for sake of love, for sake of convenience. But for those out there that are in the need of help, Poignette asked, are there systems in place to kind of support? And there's a National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. If you need that, call that. There's resources out there, and I'm sure these people would be thoroughly understanding of your situation, and glad to receive a call from you in a time of need.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So there are safe houses that are in different cities. I know there's one that I know of that the young lady was at my conference. She has a safe home where nobody will know the address. I don't even know the address. That's just how safe it is. Whenever I would give donations, I would have to meet her because a lot of these people, as myself, didn't have formula, didn't have diapers, didn't have baby clothes, my clothes, nothing, shoes. Donate to organizations like this, reviving. I have to get the proper name, but there are places here that you can donate to, and there's safe homes. But contact the National Domestic Hotline. They can lead you to these because these people are connected. There's so many people connected. There's so many people that want to help. But I understand the fear that you have. I understand not wanting to get found out. I understand what you guys go through or have gone through. And there is hope. There is hope.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. A lot lies in hope.
A lot lies in hope.
Yeah, that means there's hope.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll definitely appreciate you coming on and being able to just, be transparent and telling your story. I'm sure it's gonna bless many.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I knew it would.
Absolutely.
And I think that was a great show.
It's a great show, man.
Yeah.
And, like Punt, man, I gotta ride that train, man, and applaud you for the sense of bravery, the risk associated with that, understanding the emotional fortitude and association with this topic. Thank you for your continued support. You've been one of my greatest fans. I am a fan of yours as well. If there's other individuals like you or even yourself need anything from the two of us, we'll be gladly to help and support. If y'all need us,
yes, indeed,
and you need an advocate in the form of this beautiful, intelligent, wise, and experienced woman, please reach out to us, the Elephant Room Podcast, as well as Sarah Villery on all your social media outposts. I'm gonna let her tell y'all about that. But if you need us, man, let us know though, Sarah.
Yes, I can be reached on Instagram at svillery12. Also on Facebook as Sarah Villery. On Twitter as S.A. Villery. And on TikTok as Sarah.
You real active out there in your social media.
Yeah.
That's why you got it going on. That's what's up, man. Nah, I appreciate you. Real talk, man.
Yes, indeed.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Yes, indeed.
And I hope y'all at home that have the pleasure and the means to see this have taken something away from it. Like we always do on the tail end, we openly stand receptive to your critique, your criticism, as well as your positive and constructive feedback. Because we need support just as well as we know other individuals out there need as well. So comment, like, share, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace, love. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.